defenseless!
Merry Christmas, YouTube! You're chilling with Trainer Zabuza, and for Christmas, I got you guys a Wi-Fi-Battle. But not just any Wi-Fi-Battle. As you can see, I've got a new team. So, looking at this team preview, let me explain my team a little bit. I've got Rotom, which is not the defensive Rotom-H. It's actually offensive with the Will-O-Wisp, as you guys will see. I have an Assault Vest Escavalier, which really puts in work. Mawile as my Mega. Mandibuzz, which is probably the crux of the team. I mean, seriously, it probably would not work without it. Chestnut, a bulky attacker, which is pretty much a trap for Rotom-Washes, which you guys will see later. And Noivern, which is running a really weird set, but this team is really about screwing with my opponents, which again, you guys will see later in the battle. Now, looking at my opponent's team, he's got threats. I'm gonna have to say Aegislash, because, well, it's an Aegislash. Could be the mixed set, or it could just be pure physically offensive. Talonflame for that priority Brave Bird. I mean, really, that you gotta always watch out for that. And finally, Gardevoir, which is his potential Mega. I mean, it could be Blastoise, but I'm thinking Gardevoir. So enough with that, let's get to the battle. So this battle is against my good friend Kbab, otherwise known as Colin, and we set up this battle through Skype. He's going to start off with his Talonflame. Wow, I'm just so used to saying Talonflame is my own. As I start off with my Rotom-H, go for the Volt Switch. As he predicts this, goes out into the Goodra. That does nothing, absolutely nothing. And I go into my Jaws, my Mawile. Now, I'm predicting him, he knows I can take a hit, so I'm just going to go straight for the Mega Evolution, and I'm going to go for the Play Rough to try and get some more damage off, and that does a really good amount to his Aegislash, and I get the attack drop, which is great if it's the physical set, but if it's not, then, you know, whatever. So I go into my Mandibuzz to take the hits, because it can take hits for days from Aegislash. It pretty much counters it. I mean, really, I don't know about soft counter, but it's definitely a counter. So he pulls back his Aegislash, goes into Talonflame, as I go for Foul Play, and you know what? I am perfectly happy with the damage going on there. I mean, there's nothing that I can't, there's no complaints here. Because even if he roots, these Foul Plays are doing so much that it's doing over half, which means he cannot roost off the damage constantly. So he goes for the U-turn on my Mandibuzz, does absolutely nothing. As he goes into Gardevoir, my Foul Play hits, I guess just breaking any sash it might have had, I don't know. I mean, it does a pretty good amount, just not quite enough. So I'm going to pull back, go in my Escavalier, which is my Assault Vest Escavalier, which can take hits for days from Gardevoir. Seriously, just days and days and days. As he goes for the Focus Blast, it's going to do nothing. I mean, 50 HP, that's, what, 4 KO? As I know he was going to switch out, I go for the Pursuit. He goes into Talonflame. I'm thinking I might need my Escavalier for later. I mean, might not. And he goes for the U-turn, which is with his Talonflame. As I go in my Rotom-H, he goes into his Goodra, and I'm thinking, you know what, this is a good opportunity to trick, because I know I could get the Assault Vest, which I do, but I think it's far more valuable to have this thing scarfed than to not be able to trick with my Rotom anymore, considering I get a nice special defense buff. So I go for the Volt Switch, which again does nothing, but, you know, it's a Goodra, why would it do anything? As I go into my Noivern, and now that it's not Assault Vest, there's a pretty good chance of Draco Meteor being a two-shot. However, he switches into his Aegislash, and I miss the Draco, which is unfortunate, so I'm going to pull back, go into my Mandibuzz, pretty much my hard counter. As he predicts this, goes out into his Talonflame. I don't know what he was expecting there, because his Talonflame can't do jack to me. I mean, really, Mandibuzz walls it. He goes into his Goodra now, as I go for the Foul Play, and it actually does a decent amount. I mean, not a whole lot, but a decent amount. And I'm going to take a little risk here, go for the Roost as he goes for the Thunderbolt, just to scout how much damage it was. Now, at first, I wasn't really comfortable with how much that was doing, because it looked like it did over half. But later in the battle, I'm going to find out that was max damage. So I go into my Chestnut, knowing he's locked in, and I'm going to take that Thunderbolt like it's nothing, as he switches out into his Talonflame, and I'm going to go for the Payback. However, I completely forgot that Payback does not work when you're switching out, which means I'm not going to be able to take him out. So he goes for the Roost as I switch into my Mandibuzz, and I know he's going to go for the U-turn again, but there's really nothing I can do about it. So he goes, well, actually not the U-turn, but he switches out into his Goodra now. I thought he'd go for the U-turn, but I don't know why he just hard switched. Maybe he could explain in the comment below, but whatever. As I go for Foul Play, do a lot of damage to Goodra, and, you know, it's almost gone. I might as well just finish the job. I go for the Roost just to scout the damage again, and here you see it does about a little under half, so I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay going for another Foul Play to knock it out. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. His Goodra is gone, and I'm a happy camper. So next, he's going to send out his Gardevoir again, and oh my gosh, stop it with the Moonblast. Except this was a bait to bait out my Escavalier as he goes out into his Talonflame. And his Gardevoir is pretty much knocked out, so I don't really have to worry about that anymore. He goes for Flare Blitz. I don't have to worry about my Escavalier putting in any more work. The recoil is enough to bring down Talonflame down to a range where I can Revenge KO. And he goes for the U-turn on my Rotom, no big deal. And goes out into his Blastoise as I go for the Volt Switch. He had to have known that was coming, so I'm guessing he's just foddering out pretty much all his other Pokemon besides Talonflame just to get the offensive edge. So he goes for Ice Beam with his Blastoise. It does quite a bit, but I take it, and I take it pretty well considering I'm using Chestnut. And go for the Wood Hammer, knock him out, and now here comes the Talonflame again. And I'm at such a low range of HP where I don't really mind if Talonflame knocks me out. I'm just going to bring in something else to Revenge KO. So in comes my Noivern. It's still Scarfed, and I predict the switch into Aegislash quite nicely since he did that before. Go for the Switcheroo, give it a Choice Scarf, and bam, that thing is crippled now. Without King Shield, Aegislash isn't that huge of a threat. I mean, it's still got a massive attack stat, but it's not quite as much of a threat as people would want it to believe. So I go for the Flamethrower twice to knock it out, and down goes that massive, massive threat. And he's going to bring in his Talonflame now to Revenge, but it's not going to be able to do much because I'm going to switch out because I know he's going to try and revenge me. Go into my Talonflame, but not my Talonflame, my Rotom, and I couldn't risk him going for the Flare Blitz, so I didn't go into my Mawile at first. So I go into my Mandibuzz, and it just completely walls him. He's actually telling me on Skype now this is GG, but I don't know why he's saying that. He saw that I have Overcoat, and he completely forgets the new mechanic of Overcoat, which blocks all Spore-type moves, which means I can one-shot him with a Brave Bird, and down goes his Breloom. Man, I could not be happier with Mandibuzz right now. It is just kicking ass! So he sends out his Gardevoir, and now's a good chance to go into Jaws, my Mawile, to take the Moonblast. I mean, I'm not going to appreciate it, but at least it's not going to do that much to my Mandibuzz, which is essential for me to win this game, because I need at least that to take out Talonflame. I knock out his Gardevoir. He goes into Talonflame, again predicting me to go for a move, but no, I'm not going to Sucker Punch, just going to go for Blade Rough, safe move, knock it out, and end the battle. So, GG, Colin. Be sure to check out the artists that make these videos possible, guys. Also, like and subscribe if you happen to like the video. Or if you'd like some help recording your X and Y battles, shoot me a PM on YouTube or Skype and I'll get back to you.